Hi, this is Russ from Studio One Expert, and I want to talk about those who either own an Apollo Twin or are thinking about buying one. But I don't want to talk about the hardware, I want to talk about the bundle of effects that come with it. So it ships with a bundle of stuff that might be sitting in your plugin folder that you haven't thought about using. And if you haven't thought about using 1176s on your mix, and you haven't thought about using the Pultec Pro EQ on your mix, then I want to talk about that today. Because, as I say, they're some of the best sounding plugins out there because they're based on some of the greatest hardware ever used in our industry. I've got an 1176, a real one, sitting in my rack, and they cost a lot of money. This comes with a UA emulation of its own hardware inside the box. This isn't about those tracks where there's 1,000 tracks on it and there's a load of really fantastic mics on it. All we have for this kit to start with is a kick and two overheads, which is more realistic for the kind of person that's buying a Universal Audio Apollo Twin. That's going to be your drum recording setup, where you just have a couple of mics and you throw them on. So what we've got for the kit, and again we'll just turn the plugins off for now, is this is the setup for the kit. It's got the overheads here. And then I say the kick drum is just in there as well. We could just work with the overheads, but I'm going to work with the kick drum. So the overheads are in stereo. I haven't panned them hard left, hard right. I've pulled them in a bit, but you could go as wide as you want. But I'm not into that big kind of wide sound, especially on a small drum kit like this. So let's see what we're doing with this. So with the kick drum, let's bring the kick drum in first, and we'll take that stuff off. And here's the kick drum on its own. So let's open up the Pultec and bring it in. So why is the Pultec so cool? It's so cool particularly for the bottom end. First, I want to talk about this area first. Now, the Pultec's magic because it has a boost and a cut at the same time. Now, you might think, why the heck would I want a boost and cut? Isn't that kind of getting me back to the same place? Well, no, it isn't, because what we can do is the curve that does the boost is different from the curve that does the cut. So we can boost it and then attenuate it, and you get this lovely big thumping kick drum without all the mushy stuff as well. So I'm going to turn it back down again. So here we are. We're kicking really low at 30. Kind of air moving stuff. We could go right up to 100 if we want. And then we have the attenuator here. So if we bring those back down again and we play this kick drum again. So if we boost this kick now, you can hear that kicking. I say you could go to 100 if you want. But I want to put some real low stuff in. So I put it up there, and then I use the attenuator to then roll it off a bit more so it doesn't mess around with other stuff. So we then have this lovely airy kick drum. So then I also add in the wonderful LA2A, and let's put that in now, and I'll show you what that's doing. So here's the before and after kind of thing. See up there, it's okay, it's not bad. You can hear all the other kit in the background. But that combined with the Pultec, those two together are really starting to make that kick drum have some real interest. Now at the top as well, I've put some click in. So, here there, put the click in. It's a trick they do a lot in kick drums in different kinds of music, but it really helps just to push it up through the mix. So let's hear that kick drum before. Here we go. It's got more body, more energy, which is nice. It's pushing through the mix. Now let's look at these overheads and come over here. Now, the thing I've done with the overheads, and it's a trick you might not know in Studio One, these overheads have been recorded with two mics on two channels, overhead left and right. So what I want to do is add the plugins, but I don't want to do it on two tracks. I could insert them and then drag them across as copies, but I want to do them in stereo. So I've created a bus. So these two now go to here, and then on that bus we have, oddly enough, the Pultec again, and another instance as well of the LA2A. So let's play you those overheads first, before and after. So now after. Now what I was trying to do is there's no snare mic, so I've got to get the snare up, and I've also got to control the the top stuff as well, because the mics are close to the cymbals. So we've got to somehow balance that out a bit more. So as I say, here's before. Snares right back. Let's look how we're doing that then. So here's the LA2A. So this time I haven't done the bottom end. We've already got the bottom end coming in through the kick drum. But what I have done is boosted some top here at 12K. That's giving us the air. There we are. I'm overcooking it there on purpose. And then on the second part of this, in effect, this is two plugins in one. You've got the LA2, the EQP, the EQ1, the 1A, and then we've got the MEQ5. And then this one is doing some of the mid-range stuff. So if I play that too, again from here. Not too much, just a little bit. It's got a bit of dip as well, really. It's doing most of the cutting, because what you've got to be careful of is when you start boosting cymbals, you can get clang instead of sparkle. So what I've done really here is more of the cutting at this end. And when combined together, got that lovely energy. Now the next thing I did as well then, as I say, is got this LA2A. You can hear what that's doing. Just some gentle leveling, and it's just bringing it all together. So before, you kind of like, it's all kind of shabby, a bit slack. I'm trying to think of adjectives to describe what it sounds like. And that's really nicely starting to come in a bit more. Now the last thing I've done then on this drum kit is I've used the Reverb Pro as an insert on a send. So I'm using an FX send on here. And if we pull this up a bit, you'll see that. If you turn that on, let me show you the reverb. And then I just ring that in, just to glue the whole thing together. Then you just choose how much you want to bring in. Now I've used one called Hairy Snare. Now I've never seen a Hairy Snare, but I understand they do exist. And I'm using Hairy Snare, and that's quite a nice room sound. It's got a bit of pre-delay on it as well. And what we mean by pre-delay is that the effect doesn't start straight away. So it gives you a sense of space without always having a big tail on the back. So I didn't want a big, long, sort of big room that goes on forever, like something from Game of Thrones. What I wanted, just some space to put it into. If I turn it up a lot, you can hear it there. And it's just a case of, as you can hear there, it sounds like he's playing in a room, in a kind of a shed. So I'm just kind of placing it in space. So that's the drum kit. One kick, two overheads. That's all we're doing. And we're taking that drum kit from this to this. So there we go. If you've got an Apollo Twin and you're not using these plugins, then you're mad. If you're thinking about buying an Apollo Twin, then these plugins ship with it, and they are some of the best things in the business. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.